Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's board report for the month of March. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the recent MSBA Legislative Forum held in Jefferson City. Nearly 300 school board members and superintendents attended the event. They heard updates on education legislation pending before the General Assembly, including remarks from the chairman of the Senate Education Committee, David Pierce of Warrensburg. Governor Jay Nixon also spoke at the event and told the audience Missouri is at a defining moment in its history.
The choice before us is how to invest these resources in a way that will pack the biggest punch for our economy in a highly competitive global marketplace. The answer is clear. Nothing will have a greater impact on our future than the commitment we make right now to public education. It's pretty simple. Good schools mean good jobs, okay? It's not really that complicated.
Governor Nixon restated the conditions under which he would sign a state income tax cut bill. One of those conditions is a fully funded school foundation formula. The governor is proposing a $278 million increase in the foundation formula for the coming fiscal year that would put the state in a position to fully fund it in 2 years. But legislative leaders are proposing a much smaller increase in funding, saying state revenue is not growing fast enough to justify the governor's proposal. Those attending the Legislative Forum also had the opportunity to visit the Capitol and meet with their local legislators to discuss bills that could have an impact on their schools. Don't forget about our School Board Advocacy Network visits to Jefferson City coming up in March and April. This is your chance to visit the Capitol during the legislative session and discuss issues with your legislators. Check the MSBA website for the date of your region's visit to Jefferson City. One of the major subjects of legislation this year is how to deal with unaccredited school districts and the student transfers out of those school districts currently permitted under state law. Numerous bills have been filed on that topic this year, and at the same time, the State Board of Education is considering a plan for struggling school districts being proposed by the staff of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. Many of the statewide education groups are supporting a plan developed and adopted by the MSBA Board of Directors that would allow unaccredited school districts to sign a contract with the State Board of Education outlining the improvements they intend to implement. During the contract period, struggling school districts would be designated as provisionally accredited, thereby halting the student transfers that are causing so many challenges for both the sending and receiving school districts in the St. Louis area right now. MSBA Executive Director Dr. Carter Ward says there are a number of benefits to the contract idea.
At minimum, the contract shall include a requirement for intensive professional development for teachers, administrators, and school board members. In addition, the contract shall include provisions committing the community to certain provisions in order to maintain provisional accreditation. We believe that this approach preserves the critical principle of local control while allowing a school district to develop its own unique approach to improvement and then holding the district accountable for achieving that improvement.
Dr. Ward made his comments during a recent news conference held at the MSBA Member Relations Center in Jefferson City, also attended by representatives from a number of other education groups. The State Board of Education is likely to discuss the issue again at its March meeting. Be sure to register for the MSBA Spring Regional Meeting in your area. The spring meetings this year are especially important since they will include the election of your region's Board of Directors representative and Regional Executive Committee chair under MSBA's new governance structure. The program for the spring meetings this year will include presentations on outstanding programs from school districts within your region. You'll also have the opportunity to share successful programs and practices in your school district at the 2014 MSBA Annual Conference coming up September 25th through 28th at the Lake of the Ozarks. You can submit proposals for presentations at the annual conference right now through the MSBA website. The deadline for submitting your proposals is March 28th. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.